You waited
Philadelphia
all year
News,
for a
team of my
playoff
heart.
run. And what did you get? Injuries, collapse, a wasted MVP season. And now, the Sixers hold the No. 3 pick. But here's where it gets real. There's a trade on the table. A real shakeup. You could get a win-now player and future assets. But what if this move changes everything for the franchise? Yeah, you need to know what's going down. This Sixers news could rewrite next season and the years ahead. You wanted more than just another playoff disappointment, didn't you? You expected a run with Embiid healthy, Maxey ascending, a coach like Nick Nurse finally pushing this roster into elite territory. But what you got was chaos. Injuries tore this team apart. And before you could blink, your Sixers were slipping down the East standings week after week. That pain, that sting of unmet expectations, you felt it just like every other diehard fan. Now, here's where your loyalty gets tested. Because what looks like failure might actually become the turning point. If the front office doesn't waste it, you've got the No. 3 pick. That's not just a number. That's leverage. That's power. But here's the latest Sixers news. They might not even use it to draft. They might be thinking about something bolder, something bigger. Yeah, a trade. You know how long you've waited for Daryl Morey to make a move that really feels like it matters. Not a band-aid, not a vet minimum shot in the dark. An actual, calculated risk that can pay off now and later. The kind of trade that brings you hope again. That reminds you what it feels like to believe in a plan. Not just trust the process, but actually see results. Now listen to this. State Frazier just revealed something that could blow this whole offseason wide open. According to what he heard, the Sixers are seriously eyeing Kon Knueppel, but not necessarily at No. 3. That means one thing: trade down, pick up assets, and still get your guy. If the front office plays this right, you could walk away from draft night with a young core that actually fits around Maxey and Embiid. Think about if Brooklyn might want to move up, maybe to snatch a star, and you get to slide back a few spots, take Knueppel at 7 or 8, and pick up more ammo. Picks, players, cap flexibility. Finally, options. And isn't that what you've been screaming about all season? Stop wasting time. Build around your stars. Get guys who can contribute now, not just projects. You're tired of watching teams like Boston and Milwaukee out-execute Philly every single spring. Tired of seeing Embiid drag this team uphill while role players disappear. Tired of almost and maybe next year. This could be your off-season, but it depends on what Morey does next. And that's why this trade rumor matters more than just gossip. Knueppel isn't a franchise saver, but he might be a rotation lock from day one. A shooter with IQ, toughness, and a frame that fits today's NBA. And if you can grab him while also stocking up extra picks or players, that's a rare win-win. And you know how rare those are in Philly lately. So the question becomes, do you trust this front office to finally pull it off? Can they balance patience and aggression? Can they get value out of this draft position without overthinking it? Because you've seen them botch picks before. You've watched them chase the wrong guys while better fits slid right past. But this time, the doors open. And that brings you back to this exact moment. The edge of something new. Something that could define the next chapter of Sixers basketball. If you had a say in the trade, would you do it? Would you move that No. 3 pick for the right deal? Or do you want to make the pick and run with it? Let me ask you this. Who do you trust more, Daryl Morey or your own instincts as a Sixers fan? Drop it in the comments. I want to hear your take. You've seen this movie before, haven't you? Top pick, high expectations, and then nothing but regret a few months later. That's why this draft isn't just about picking a name, it's about changing direction. You don't want to live through another Merkel situation. And you definitely don't want another season where injuries leave Embiid stranded and the bench looks like it belongs in the G League. That's where the tension is. Because this No. 3 pick could either bring in a star contributor or turn into another long wait for development while Embiid's prime fades away. So when you hear about a trade, especially one that gets you a player like Kon Knueppel later in the draft and adds assets. You can't just ignore it. This isn't just Sixers news, it's a warning shot. Do something now or regret it later. And that's exactly what teams like Brooklyn are thinking too. They're watching that no 3 pick like sharks circling the water. They want it bad, and you know what that means. Leverage is in Philly's hands. Let's keep it real, you don't want the front office making decisions just for PR. You want smart basketball moves, strategic ones. If the Sixers believe Knueppel is their guy, then why not trade back and snag him plus something extra? Another pick, a role player, maybe cap space flexibility to use during the season. That's the kind of move that could reshape your roster without sacrificing the future. And it's not like Knueppel's some random name. This kid's got the kind of game that Philly fans respect of, skilled and ready to contribute. He's not flashy, he's reliable. And in a city where fans like you demand results over hype, that matters. He's not trying to build a brand, he's trying to win games. That should already tell you something. Now ask yourself, what's the goal here? Is it about just drafting a guy at no 3 and hoping he turns into something? Or is it about winning now while also setting up the future? Because if it's the second one, and you know it is, then this potential trade starts to look smarter by the second. This isn't about selling the pick, it's about controlling the board. Daryl Morey has been here before. Houston, Philly, always trying to outthink the room. But this time, you need him to do something different. Don't just think. Execute. Get value. Build a team that makes sense. One where Maxey isn't asked to do everything. And Mbaye doesn't have to pray for help that never comes. Because let's be honest, you know what doesn't work waiting too long to fix a broken roster? Look what happened this year. You had the MVP and still couldn't finish better than the bottom half of the conference. Why? Injuries. Sure, but also poor depth. Weak rotations. Unreliable role players who didn't show up when it mattered. A trade here could patch those holes fast. A player, a future first. Or even an underutilized bench piece ready to break out with the right coach. Nick Nurse knows how to get the most out of guys like that. Remember Toronto? Yeah, you saw it. That could be Philly next season, but only if this trade goes through. And if the Sixers pass on this opportunity, if they reach at no 3 or take too long to decide, then what? Another wasted year. Another playoff exit while teams like Orlando and Indiana pass you in the standings? You deserve better, and the front office needs to hear it. So what do you think? Should the Sixers trade back and take Knueppel, or stay put and swing big at no 3? Let me know what you do. Drop it in the comments. And here's where it gets real for you. Because now we're not just talking about hypotheticals or some mock draft fantasy. This is about strategy, pressure, and urgency. You can feel it, can't you? This isn't just a pick, it's a fork. In the road, you either build the team that Mbaye and Maxey deserve, or you fall behind again. Think about it. You've got Paul George, Kyle Lowry, Andre Drummond. Names that sound good on paper, but are deep into their careers. You already saw what happens when you rely on aging veterans to carry a team through 82 games. And a postseason you end up disappointed. So why not retool with purpose? Why not use this pick to bring in young legs that are actually ready to contribute? That's why this trade rumor hits different. You don't want to gamble on potential if it means sitting on your hands. While the East gets stronger, the Knicks are cooking. The Pacers are stacked with young firepower. The Celtics and Bucks aren't going anywhere. And you're holding onto a no 3 pick like it's a golden ticket. But only if you use it right. Here's the play. You trade down. You snag Knueppel, or whoever your front office believes is the best plug-and-play talent still on the board at 6 or 7. And then you pick up an extra asset, a pick, a wing defender, maybe a shooter. Suddenly, you've got options. Not just for the future, but for right now. Now imagine that. Embide healthy, Maxey exploding, and a bench that can finally hold the line. A rookie who fits in immediately, not someone you're waiting 3 years on. That's what gets you back into serious contention. And think about what that does for the locker room. No more hoping guys like Jeff Doughton Jr. can carry second unit minutes. No more praying for Uber to give you consistency. You've got real depth, and it came from one bold move at the draft. But let me ask you this, what happens if they hold the pick and it doesn't pan out? What if the guy they take at 3 is another project, another slow starter? Then what? You waste a year of Maxey's leap, and another year where Embiid's body can't carry you by himself. That's not a rebuild, that's a mistake, and you deserve more. And look, this isn't just about one move. It's about a shift in mentality. Sixers news and trade rumors like this one are more than smoke, they're signals. If Morey's smart, he's reading it the same way you are. Flexibility, readiness, and the willingness to pivot if it means getting better right now. You saw what happened when they waited too long last time, when they didn't surround Embiid with enough, when Simmons fell apart, when Harden walked. Every one of those was a missed chance to course correct early. This is your moment to do it right. So here's your call. Do you trust the front office to make the right move with this pick? Or would you rather they go safe and stay put? Drop your thoughts below. I want to hear where you stand. Now let's bring it home. If you care about what happens next, if you want to keep following every move, every trade, and every rumor that could change this team's future, then hit that subscribe button right now and click the bell icon because you can't afford to miss what comes next. From the front office to the floor, we're breaking down every play that could bring a title back to Philly. This is your place for everything Sixers news and trade. Let's make it happen.